that gives you, that centers you, that gives you some calmness. For me, mine is the number one thing in the morning is my vitamins. It is drinking water with lemon. It's having a cup of coffee, quiet, could be coffee, tea, water, whatever that is for you. Mine is also taking a walk. And here now, we have to have our masks when we go out, but I still want to get out and I still want to continue to move around and get some fresh air and get out. So you have to figure out what that routine is for you, and kind of make it something that's for you. And if you have a family, and kind of include everybody in that. I also have a diffuser, I have essential oils. So that is a part of my daily routine. Before I get into the area of work and seeing what's going on, I take care of me first. So I want to impress upon you how important that is to do that. And for also, if you have children, for them to see that you have some sort of a routine and you want to take care and do that first. The other thing that I want you to do is to start journaling. Start journaling about how you're feeling about each day that goes through. Start doing perhaps like a things to do list. And this is going to help you so that you don't lose track of time. Believe it or not, it's very, very easy to lose track of time when you don't have anything that's structured. Some people are working from home right now. Some people are still going to work. And so a lot of the kids are at home now and being homeschooled. So we have to kind of fit that into our life to see how that works. So what I want you to do is I want you to journal. And I want you to start looking at your life in hour increments. How is that time being spent? And what is being done? And then that way you can start taking inventory of perhaps how was it before? What is it looking like today? And what do you want to see the future looking like? And that's how the information that I'm giving you, you'll be able to know what and where it can fit into your life. Do you have time to add anything else to your life? Or is it so tight? Is your schedule so filled that you really don't have the time to add anything to that? So it's really, really important. I want people to really think about right now taking inventory. Take inventory of what is going on. And then if you can find an extra hour or two a day, then I want you to look at how you can add something to your life that gives you value, gives you some value. And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything monetarily. It doesn't have to be anything that, it could just be something that you want to take in and you want to have that knowledge for a later time down the road. It doesn't always have to be something that is going to mean money today, but it's a good idea for you to see where you are and to figure out what direction you want to go in. Because just like when we get in our cars normally, if you are going somewhere, it's always better if you set your GPS, because then that way you get there without taking a wrong, going in the wrong direction. It's always good to start where you are and then to figure out where it is that you're wanting to go. You don't want to guess. You definitely want to guess. It's so much better when you have a plan. Again, even in times like this where it just kind of, things kind of came at us from one way or the other, but now it's a perfect opportunity for us to get centered and to figure out, okay, so now that we know where we are right now, where do we go from here? And what options do I have? What opportunity is available to me and my family? And how will it fit into my life? Now, will it fit into my life just for the time being? Or is it something that can fit into my life for long term? So you really want to take that time and do that. And I cannot stress to you enough how important it is to you to just try to figure out where you are going. Take inventory now and then figure out where you're going on. I think our families will appreciate that, because it will, especially if you have kids, it will show them that in chaotic times, this is how you handle situations like this. You stop, you evaluate, you sit down and come up with a plan, and you move forward. Because one of the things we have to learn how to do a lot of times is to be adaptable. We have to learn some of the most successful people are people who can adapt to a change. Sometimes change is not easy. We don't always like change, but it is something to be said for people who can adapt to what is going on and who can adapt to change. And so these are just some of the important things that I like to talk about in our group, that we like to share that information with people. It is to be supportive and to make sure that people know that there's a lot of opportunity out there, even when times where it feels like there are not. There's a lot out there. So again, let me just go back over some of those steps that we want you to do. Our group, Trade All Markets, is a community. And inside of that community, we are going to assist you with information, tools, resources that can help you in a number of ways. We have an assessment inside of the group, and that assessment is for you. It's for your eyes only. It's for you to see where you are and for you to know what direction you need to go moving forward in. We are there inside of the group to support and to help you and to point you in the direction of success. And that is by resources, that's by opportunity, and that is for letting you know there is a lot of support out there, but sometimes we don't have the time to find it. We understand people are busy. So what we do is we cut that learning curve. So you don't have to go looking anywhere else. You can really just look inside of the group, and we are there to help and support and assist you and to give you some opportunities that you may not have even known that you have. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to start taking inventory. I have so many of these journals. I use my journal every single day. And the reason I use my journal is so that I can actually see where I'm at, where I've been, where I'm going. It's like taking little notes to yourself. I also write out my things to do. It is so nice. It's like having a map. When you write out your things to do list and you know where you need to be, you know what you need to do. You don't miss anything. It's not like at the end of the day going, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that I needed to do this. When you do that, this is a resource I keep with me all the time. I'm telling you, I think I have about 5 or 6 of them around the house. I use them all the time so that I can stay on track. Very important that we know exactly what it is. And then another tip is take out those crock pots. Take out those crock pots, start meal prepping, do a menu. That way it's so important that we know where our time and our resources are going right now. So I am so excited to get to meet some of you. Come over into the group Trade All Markets. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all social media, LinkedIn, the website. You can go in there and we'll make sure to get more information, and we'll bring you into our community. Community is super important right now. More than ever, community is what we need to help us during these sometimes very trying times. So go ahead and look for us at Trade All Markets, and we are happy, most happy to be of service. And so I want to thank Brian again for having me on the show. I'm so excited to hopefully get to meet some of you in the next coming months ahead.
I'm learning how to use the system, so I apologize.
Oh, it's fine.
What happened? What happened? Okay. Our next speaker is going to be. Oh, wrong person. Da da da. That was Robyn Mancell with the Info Broker.
Hey.
Our next speaker will be Tony Robinson. He is an entrepreneur. He has several businesses, and he is a network marketing specialist. And so we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then when we come back, we'll do the introduction again for Mr. Tony Robinson. We'll be right back. Take about 5 minutes, go to the restroom, get you some popcorn, get you some notepads, and take some notes because we're ready to get busy. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Thank you. Bye-bye. And by the way, we don't have any music this time, so I do apologize. This is a new system, and I'm just learning how to use it, so I do apologize again. But we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Give you a chance to take a break. Be right back. All right, I think we're back. About a minute left before we get into it. I just kind of want to remind folks to please go to uh, the bottom of the page on the broadcast page and download the free swag that we have. We have a little swag gifts, a couple ebooks, and some memberships to some stuff that you can take advantage of. So that way, we show our appreciation for you being a part of the Next Level Virtual Business Summit. We have a bunch more coming up. So if you go back to the registration page down at the bottom, you can also sign up for our mailing list. So that way you can stay abreast of other virtual summits that we're going to be doing, probably one every couple of weeks, or at least once a month to every couple of weeks that we're doing so. So let's get started. Our next speaker is the picture that you see in front of you. His name is Tony Robinson. He is an entrepreneur. He is an author. He is a minister of the gospel, and he is a networking specialist. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Reverend Tony Robinson.
All right. Good evening, folks. It's a privilege to speak to you about a subject that I consider very important. Thank you, Brian, for the opportunity to share this information, and hopefully it will help people to get a better understanding of the concept of network marketing. We are going through a very difficult time right now in the world because of the coronavirus, but I think it's a wake-up call for all of us. We've had 20 million people, I understand, over the last month apply for unemployment, and and most of those people only have one source of income, and that's a job, that's a paycheck. So when the paycheck is gone, you're lost. Our educational system is not designed for us to have to be entrepreneurs. Initially, when the United States was founded around the turn of the century, the previous century, 95% of the people in the country were in their own business. Now it's turned around and it's the other way around, and most people now are dependent on jobs. With the Industrial Revolution, most people ended up going to work in the industrial infrastructure. And the schools were designed to make a better worker bee. And we have all become better worker bees. And the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And one of the things that has leveled the playing field for business is network marketing. But network marketing is one of the most misunderstood business models that has ever existed in the United States and around the world. Network marketing is really the solution to most of us who want to get into business for ourselves. We have not been taught how to be in business. I remember in 1984, I was working at a bank, and the bank was acquired by another bank. But prior to that, I was a controller of the parent company of the bank. I reported to the SEC. I handled their taxes. I was the man for accounting. I had my CPA certificate on the wall, and we were doing it. And when the bank was acquired, of course, when one company acquires another, the acquiring company keeps their people and releases the people from the acquired company. Well, we were the acquired company, so we were released. And as part of my severance, they gave me $25,000 in cash. Well, $25,000 in cash back in 1984 was a lot of money. And I said, because I've always wanted to be in business for myself, I said, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to start a bookkeeping business because I know accounting. I'm a CPA. I know accounting, and I'm going to, get my business started and just do bookkeeping. There was only one problem. I did not have the mindset to start a business. I knew that I had the money and I knew the subject, but I did not have an entrepreneurial mindset. And guess what happened? I dilly-dallied and tried and this and that, and the money just dissipated. And before I knew it, it was gone because I didn't have the guts to do what I needed to do to start a business because I didn't know anything about that. I had not been trained to be an entrepreneur. So what network marketing does is it gives you an opportunity to have access to the people with the mindset that it takes to be in business. Business is not easy. And network marketing has taken a beating because it was a concept that was way ahead of its time. We look at the people who are wealthy right now in the world, the big shots, and these people all have networks. The rich build networks. Robert Kiyosaki in his book, Cash Flow Quadrant, talks about networks. You look at Facebook, what is that? A huge network. That's why Zuckerberg, if he doesn't want to do anything more in his life, he can sit at home and eat bonbons and make money coming out his ears. Bill Gates, what did he build? Networks. And he taught people how to build networks. Exxon is a big oil company, but guess what? They have a network of gas stations, and they have a network of suppliers, and they have a network of distributors. Networks. The rich build networks. The problem is, if you don't have rich money, you can't build a network in the industrial age setting. Network marketing allows you, the individual, to build a network. And it provides for you the thing that most business people never have when they go start a business from scratch. Now, the people who have businesses and they've been in business for many years. Many of them have received their businesses from their parents. So they were around the mindset of an entrepreneur, and they grew up with it. So when daddy retired, son or daughter took over the business because they had the mindset. But if you've never had anybody in your family who has been in business, you've never had anybody in your family who has started a business from scratch, you have no clue, and it's very, very difficult. They say that 95% of the businesses started in the United States of America, which is the richest country in the world. 95% of these businesses fail within the first 5 to 10 years. And why? Sometimes it had to do with, not knowing what to do. Sometimes it had to do with the change in the economy. Sometimes there's a lot of reasons. But the point is, without the mindset, I don't care how good the opportunity is, you're not going to be able to be successful. So what happened is, multi-level marketing came into being, and multi-level marketing has taken a beating because people want to jump into business. They say, "Oh man, it's too good to be true." They want to jump into business, make the money, and get rich. But network marketing, the word network is net and work. But most people forget about the work part and just want to get the net. Well, you can't get the net without doing the work. And most people don't have the guts and they don't have the mentality to go build a network. So network marketing says, look, I'm going to make someone available who has the mindset, and all you have to do is be a good mentee. They will mentor you in the process of building a business. Your job is to learn, and your job is to do what you're taught to do. People say, "Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to the meetings. I don't want to read the books. I don't want to listen to the audios. I don't want to learn anything." But you want to be successful. So they jump in. They want to do these things. They want to make the money, but they don't want to pay the price. And then they jump out. The problem with network marketing also is it's easy to get in and it's easy to get out. Now, if you put up $100,000 to start a business, it ain't that easy to get out, because most of the time if you put up $100,000 to start a business, you borrowed it or you took it out of your savings and you're not about to let it go without a fight. But in network marketing, for the price of a suit, you can get in business and you can get a turnkey operation. All the groundwork has been laid. All the negotiations have been done. The lawyers have looked at all the papers. Everything is done. The attorneys have signed the contracts. The government regulations have been met. And they hand you a turnkey operation. And your job is to learn to run it. And people quit because they don't want to take the time to learn. Network marketing is simple, but it's not easy. But because, you know what? Because it's a business. If it's a business, let me tell you something about business. Business is hard. And if you've never been in business, you have no clue. And so you think, well, I'm just going to jump in this thing and get rich and that's it. It doesn't work that way. You have to go through the same challenges that a regular business person goes through. The good thing about network marketing is you have somebody who has already gone through it and they can tell you step by step what to do. But most people are lazy. Straight out, I'm telling you right now, most people are lazy. They want the goods, but they don't want to pay the price for the goods. And so they get involved in the network marketing business, and the network and the upline says, look, now, first of all, what business is there where a millionaire goes to the house of a pauper and sits down and says, I am willing to invest my time, I am willing to invest my energy and my money to help you to get to where I am? What business is there like that? It doesn't exist. The people making the big money are not about to come to the house of somebody who has nothing and invest their time. That happens in network marketing. If someone is building a network marketing business and they see someone with the right mindset and the desire and the willingness to pay the price, they are willing to go the extra mile to help that person. Why? Because if they don't do that, they can't make any money in network marketing. People say, oh, it's a pyramid. Yeah. You know what it is? It is a service pyramid. I'll give you the pyramid thing, but so is your job. So don't talk to me about pyramid. Furthermore, you got to find out what a pyramid is before you start talking about whether this is a pyramid or not. Okay? Now, somebody who is successful in network marketing, if they find someone who has a dream, who has ambition, and is willing to be a good mentee, that person will come and invest time and money and energy in that person. And if the person at the bottom doesn't make any money, the person at the top can't make any money. Network marketing allows you to start your own network, starting with the resources that you have. And it's a service. If you want to call it a pyramid, you can call it a pyramid, but it's a service pyramid because the people on the top have to help the people on the bottom to succeed. Otherwise, there's no foundation, it will crumble. And you look at the network marketing companies that are out there. Some of these companies that have been out there for years, and they're growing more and more and more. And it's a good way for people to get educated. Business is hard. So if you get into any business, you're going to pay the price. Most people don't want to face the no's of life. If you're going to be in business, somebody is going to tell you no. If you're going to be in business, somebody's going to laugh in your face. Oh yeah, you're going to be rich. People ask all the time, "Are you rich yet?" They're not doing anything, but they want to make fun of a person who's trying to do something to advance themselves. Every time, one of my business associates said, "The enemy of your success lives in your house and sometimes sleeps in your bed." And that is in any business, any enterprise. So network marketing is not more difficult than anything else. I think the road is paved better in network marketing than in anything else. And so if you ever, most people make an emotional decision about network marketing. They say, "Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sell. I'm going to lose my friends." You don't know what you're talking about. And that you're not willing to sit down and let somebody teach you. No, people jump to conclusion. They make emotional decisions about their future. But a person who is truly building a serious network marketing business knows that if you don't build your business with integrity and honesty, it can't last. It will crumble. It'll get a bad reputation. The brand will be just destroyed. So the person who gets in the network marketing business needs to come in with an attitude of willingness to learn. You in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. And if the person comes in and is willing to learn from the person who has succeeded, that person will succeed. So some people say, "Oh, it's brainwashing." No, it's not brainwashing, it's brain flushing. Because we have all been brainwashed to believe that to succeed, we must grow up, get an education, get a good job, work real hard, and we're going to succeed. Well, that doesn't work anymore. It works to a certain degree. But coronavirus came by, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of those people who have an education and had an education and a good job are sitting at home trying to figure out how they're going to pay the bills. Because you have to show up to make money with a job. By the way, a job is the lowest form of making money. Now, it's the easiest, but because it's the easiest, it's the lowest. Think about it. To make money in a job, you don't have control. You're exchanging hours for dollars. You don't have control over the hours, and you don't have control over the dollars. So you have no control, and you have no leverage. When you die, you can't leave your job to your child or your family. When you're in business for yourself, then you can leave a business. You can leave a legacy for your family. Network marketing allows you to do that. You get into now. There was an article on a publication called the Dow Theory Letter, and this was from September of 1977. And they were talking about the ideal business. Now, it wasn't talking about any particular business. They were talking about what would be the qualities of the ideal business. So the first thing they said about the ideal business that it would be that it sells to the world. And that means that it wouldn't just be a local business. It wouldn't be just a regional business. It would be a business that would be able to sell its products and services all around the world. Well, there are many network marketing businesses that started with one person, and now the business is around the world. And the people who have done the sweat and the tears to build it are multi-millionaires. Again, they had to sweat, they had to work, they had to get ridiculed and all those things. But they built their business from one person or one couple, and the business has gone around the world and they became multi-millionaires. Okay, so the business, the first thing that they said is the business needs to sell to the world. And many network marketing businesses are around the world right now. So you can start a network marketing business by yourself, you and your spouse. And with the teaching from the systems that are in place, you can learn how to build a worldwide business. Second thing, they said you want to have a product that has inelastic demand. Inelastic demand means you got to have it. You got to have soap. You have to have laundry detergent. You have to have food, things that you have to buy, things that you will buy and buy again. Inelastic demand. You have to have water. You have to have food. All these things are at inelastic demand. Okay, so most network marketing businesses offer a product or a series of products that have an inelastic demand. Otherwise, they can't survive. If I have a network marketing and I'm only selling televisions, I will starve to death. Because television, you buy a television every 5 years. But if you have a network marketing business that sells soap, you can buy soap year out, year in and year out. Okay? They ridiculed Amway way back when it started. You're selling soap. And Rich DeVos said, you know why we sell soap? Because people buy soap. And so you want to offer a product or a service that people use. We call them, there's a term for it. Anyway, I'll get back to that. Anyway, you want to offer a product that's in demand. Second thing is you have to have low labor requirements. Now, my wife and I have a network marketing business. We have low labor requirements. You know why? Because we have no employees. We, the employees, we're the janitor and the president. You got it. But you know what? Month after month, the money comes in, whether we get out of bed or not. That's what you want. You want a business, if you have employees, if you have 10 employees, you have 10 headaches. But when you can build a business where you have no employees and they still make a bunch of money, you got something. So that was the third thing that they said that the ideal business would be a business that had low labor requirements. Well, network marketing businesses don't have any labor requirements. The people who are building the network, they are the laborers. Secondly, The fourth thing they said is it sells a product with a continuing need. People will use it up, and buy it again. Use it and buy it again. That's why Walmart is one of the biggest companies in the world. Why? Because they sell a bunch of things that we buy, use, and go back and buy. All right? A good, solid network marketing company will always sell a product that people have to continually buy because that's part of the system. Okay? In the network marketing business, guess who is the best customer? You're looking at them. The owner of the business is the best customer. Why? Because when the owner uses the product, the owner gets product knowledge. When the owner uses the product, the owner gets belief. When the owner offers the product, the owner can offer the product with conviction. And it's important that the product be a reusable product because that keeps the money flowing. All right. Number 5, low overhead. Look, most network marketing businesses are built in the home. And so if you know the tax laws, the portion of the house you set aside for your business, you can even write that off on your taxes. Low overhead. You don't need a building. You don't need brick and mortar and an office and all that stuff. No. You can build a business right from your home. When you meet with people, you go meet them at on their terms, in their turf, at their home, or maybe you meet them in a restaurant or something like that. You don't need to spend a whole lot of money for rent and janitors and office equipment and all that stuff. Do that stuff right at home. Low overhead. All right. Sixth thing it says, you have to offer a product that is difficult or impossible for a competitor to produce. All right. Most network marketing companies are built around products that they patent, products that people need and want, but it's superior many times, for the most part, superior to what you can just go buy in the store. So they patent their product. They usually comes up. The attractiveness of a network marketing business is that it has a product that is compelling. Somebody say, "Oh yeah, I can see how people would want this product." And so the network marketing companies come up with a product, they patent it or they get a trademark or whatever, and they're the only ones that can offer that product. Okay. Now, when they did this list, it was not talking about a network marketing business, but yet these are the qualities of a network marketing business. But if you don't know anything about business, you will think, "Oh, I don't want to do that." It's because you don't know. That's ignorance. Most people make emotional decisions about business. Now, during this time, when you have nothing to do, you're at home, you can't go anywhere, this is time for you to open your mind and learn. Learn. Now, the other thing it says, it does not require a huge investment. Now, I'm going to give you this. I'll give you this. Some network marketing businesses require too much money up front. And a lot of that money really is not going to anything. And that's why the Federal Trade Commission comes down on them like, "Oh, you're front loading. You're charging people for nothing. They're buying air." And so, yeah, if people are abusing the concept, they need to be brought made accountable. But a legitimate network marketing company is not going to charge you a lot of money to get started. They're usually, the entry fee is very low. About the price of a suit is usually close to what a good network marketing company will start for. So it doesn't require a big upfront investment. So you don't have to sell the house and the car and your firstborn to get in. You can start for a little bit of money. Even a person who has no money at all, but has a job, they can figure out a way to get started. But the most important thing about that is this. The most important thing that you get when you start a network marketing business is the access to someone who has succeeded, who is willing to invest their time in you. Come on now. All right. The other thing they said is It's a cash business. It's a cash business. No accounts receivable. Everything is done in cash. Write a check, do the business. Most network marketing businesses are cash and carry. No bunch of accounts receivable and all that stuff. Okay. So if it's a cash business, then you don't have to worry about going bankrupt. Now, some people say, "Oh yeah, well, I got in that network marketing thing and I lost my shirt." That's because you weren't thinking. That was because you didn't listen. Because most network marketing companies have guarantees, the good ones. Now, you might have some ones that are kind of shady, and I give you that. But the good ones have money-back guarantees on their products, so that you're not ending up storing a whole bunch of stuff in your garage and all that stuff. There's no need to do that stuff anymore. All right. Number 9, they say relatively free from government regulations and restrictions. Well, usually when you get in the network marketing business, the company has already taken care of the government. All the regulations, all that stuff, they got attorneys to take care of the stuff. You don't need to be dealing with that. So all the Federal Trade Commission and all these things, usually the company, the parent company, takes care of that. So the individual distributor doesn't have to worry about that. And then they said this company should be portable. I call it ubiquitous. That's big. It's a big word. Ubiquitous. That means you can do it anywhere you want. You can be here in California, start your business in California, move to Texas, and you just pull up your business and go. You don't have to worry about office equipment and this and no, you just get up and go. Why? Because the business can be done anywhere in the world where that business is established. And the last thing it said is it keeps you fascinated, excited. Now, anybody who's building a network marketing business and they're serious about it, they'll always be excited. Why? Because there's always people coming along and becoming successful. You get to see the result of your work. You get to see the fruit of your labor. You see people who knew nothing now beginning to grow. Now, everybody won't do it. But you're not looking for everybody. You're looking for the people that you can mentor and that they would receive that mentorship and pass on the mentorship. So when a person has built a network marketing business the way it's supposed to be built, there is always success happening. And as long as success is happening and you are impacting people's lives and seeing people grow and people become better, you see marriages get better, relationships get better. In some of these network marketing businesses, the divorce rate is less than 1%. You can't say that about business at large. Most people who are in business, the husband goes in one way, the wife goes in another way, and never the twain shall meet. And so most people who are in business, they run the risk of having problems in the marriage. So we looked at the ideal business, and I compared it to network marketing, and I'm telling you, network marketing is the best business opportunity anywhere on the face of the earth for the masses of the people. Anybody who wants to be in business for themselves, don't have the mindset, can get in the network marketing business. And if they follow the pattern and if they follow the mentorship that they receive, they can also build a successful network marketing business. I hope you are beginning to understand. Now, the other thing is this. The work part of network marketing is this. When I started my network marketing business, my sponsor told me, Tony, you need to read 15 minutes out of a positive mental attitude book every day. Form the reading habit, 15 minutes out of a positive mental attitude book. And I told my sponsor, when I graduated from college, I swore up and down I would never read another book. And he said, do you want to make this money? And I said, yes. And he said, well, you better get that book, start reading it. I said, give me the book. Well, from that time, I have become an avid reader. Leaders are readers. leaders are readers. You want to build a successful network marketing business, you have got to grow. Because if you're going to lead people, they got to see that you are doing what you're telling them to do. And so in the network marketing business, people are going to read more than they've ever read before, because that's the way you develop the skills and the mindset. Now, if you're lazy, you won't want to do it. And a lot of people, they get involved in a business, they just want to run and do business without the mindset and without doing the work that it takes to provide the strength, the inner strength to do the work. When you go into the network marketing business, you become associated with people who are moving towards success. So that success spirit just kind of pulls you along. That pull is available to you when you're in a network marketing business. In your regular job, your boss goes in the office and closes the door because he doesn't want you to hear what he's talking about. In the network marketing business, the more my downline knows, the better off I am. I'll tell my downline every secret that I know so that they can succeed. Because when they succeed, I succeed. So I don't know what your experience has been in network marketing. I don't know what your problems have been in network marketing. If it was negative, it's one or two things. Either you didn't have good mentorship, or they didn't have a good teaching system, or two, you didn't make it is because you didn't do what it took. Rich DeVos said, most people don't succeed in business because they refuse to do what the business requires. And that's very true about network marketing. People come in, they don't want to do the work. Somebody is going to tell you no if you're in business. You go into the Amway business, you go into Herbalife, or you go into any of those businesses, you try to build a network, somebody's going to say, I don't want to do that stuff. I'm not interested in that stuff. And you have to learn how to have the thick skin to go move on and say next and find the next person who is looking to do something with their lives. And when you find the right people to work with, the business will work, whether you work it or not. Once you build your network, the business will work. So I hope this has helped you to get a good idea about network marketing, and maybe you open your mind so that you can sit down and get all the information before you make so that you can make an informed decision. Too many times they hear the term network marketing. Oh, I'm not interested in that. How do you know? If you've never listened, if you've never sat down, do not tell me that you prefer to get up every day and go to work, whether you feel like it or not, over getting up instead of at the crack of dawn, at the crack of noon, when you're ready to get up, and have total control over time and money. Don't tell me you don't want that. And if a person builds a good network marketing business, that is exactly what they can have. Total control over time and money. You get up every day and decide what you want to do with your time and what you want to do with your money. When the church comes saying, oh, we have a little situation here and we need some, you say, how much and when? And you take out your check and you take out your checkbook and write the check. If you want to be able to do that, if you want to see situations and say, okay, I got this, take down the crowdfunding thing, I got it. You want to be able to do that? You got to get the mentorship from the people who can do that. And the network marketing, those people are available to you. So don't tell me, oh, I'm not interested in that. Everybody wants to be free. And the question is, what price is too great for you to own yourself? Network marketing gives you an opportunity to own yourself. So next time somebody approaches you, do yourself a favor, sit down, listen, get your questions answered, do everything they tell you to do in terms of getting information. And at the end, you say to them, have you told me everything? Have I got everything? Do I understand? Did you give me everything? Now I can make an informed decision. So I'm Tony Robinson. Hope you learned something, and I hope you'll give yourself a chance. Now that you have time, take time to learn about network marketing. Thank you very much.
Yep. And there we go. And he's going to be our next speaker. Let's take about 2 minutes. If you want to go get a water break real quick and grab something, we're going to start in 2 minutes. Thank you. We'll be right back. And while we're on our break, if you're still around and waiting on, don't forget to go down below on our page and download the free swag gifts that we have. And also, our presenters have their contact information on another button down below as well. So that way you're able to get in contact with them and get more information about what they're doing and what they have to offer and so forth. And so we should be starting at about 35 minutes, 35 seconds, excuse me. Be right back. All right, we're back. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of the Next Level Virtual Business Summit. And our next presenter, as I mentioned, and you see him on the screen, his name is Steve Harris. He is a business developer, especially also does church development as well, and he works in the music business. He's a solo entrepreneur as well. What we did was we're doing an interview, so we're going to be a part of an interview. So we'll let's get started.
but the mortician. Now is the time, to take advantage of the internet, get on and start making stuff. Don't be sitting up there like, woe is me, my stimulus check. Okay, that's a loan from the government. My stimulus check, waiting on my check to come. Do what? Sorry, folks, get out there and make stuff happen. Study, text me. No, don't text me. Inbox me. Email me. I'm saying my phone. I'm sitting here, the phone's on vibrate, but it will drive you nuts. It's just ringing. Nah, I mean, that's people, my friends from Blackish. They call me right now. That's because you got to call. I'm not going to return that call. But you got to do stuff right now to make stuff happen and do what you got to do.
I appreciate that. So with that, you want to get some last words of encouragement?
Oh, this is it. My time is up. Oh,
no. You haven't fun. What you? Yeah. So we have been talking earlier, and so now that we're actually live, are there some things that you can, I know that you have a free webinar on unemployed and broke or something like that, and how can they give some tips on some of the things that they can do?
Right now, if that was me and it's the corona time, I would have a sanitizing service.
Ooh.
Go order you 8 gallons of sanitizer. Say hi. I just made that up. I'm gonna turn that into I just made that. Guys, sanitizer.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna write that down. A sanitizing service. Because I tell people, you can have dog walking service. You can go to senior citizens and say, hey, let me sit with your grandma. Let me sit with Nana for 8 hours a day. A senior citizen, and you may learn some knowledge from the great minds.
Would that be something that? So how can a person with the COVID, I guess they could do it basically with the separation, with the social distancing.
Go in there, get it approved and cleared with your sanitizing gloves, your napkins, and a mask, and walk in there with somebody that you know and say, I'm gonna sit with mama. Or I'm gonna go check on your mama. Wake up.
That can also be a little side business, even going to the
grocery
store.
If you live in California and mama in Louisiana, hire somebody in Louisiana to go check on your mama. I need you to go by mama's house, knock on the door, let her say, okay, wave at me through the window, take a picture, send it back. I just made it up. Take a picture and send it back. I'm gonna put that in my online class today. Make us a mama. COVID-19 ideas. You gotta do what you got to do, people. Mm-hmm. Wake up, church, wake up. I'm not sitting up here asleep. I'm going to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning every day. I'm writing scripts, working on projects, production. We making stuff happen. Ain't time to sit around and look around. I'm not waiting for no stimulus check. You cannot give me the check. I'm gonna still keep working to make stuff happen, because the issue is what you're gonna do when this thing is lifted. And I told somebody today on another interview, I said, when this thing is over with, they ain't coming out the house. They're gonna be like groundhog. They're gonna look around. They're gonna check. You better come up with something. You better be creative out here real quick and real fast.
So is it hard for a person? I know that you're really talking about your online courses. Someone else is inspired to do something, to do the same thing. What are some of the obstacles or some free resources that can help them get started with putting that together?
With online course, take my webinar. It's called HowSteveDidThat.com. So I got to answer that, because people like you, and you got to have an answer. HowSteveDidThat.com. Go there, figure out how to put it together, how to make it work. You come up with an idea, come up with a vision, figure out who's your niche audience. Who is your audience? Who's your niche? Who are the people you're trying to target to? Figure it out, tweak it, and then you bring something to the table that they haven't seen or heard before. And then they'll buy it from you. They say, well, I can get on YouTube. Well, you go on YouTube. But YouTube don't have 40 years of experience like I got. Guess what? They're going to buy from you. If I'm going to talk to an accountant who just got out of tax school last year, I'm going to give you a couple little years, but I'm going to talk to somebody who got gray hair and they old, they in the wheelchair. Guess what? You've been doing taxes for 40 years. You know all the ins and outs, all the tricks of the trade. Here's my papers right now. Here go my receipt. Sign me up. Let's get it. Let's go.
So it's a person that's in the music business, and they have a idea for a project. What's the next thing for them to do if they got an idea? Or matter of fact, let's rephrase that. They already have a project sitting on the computer. What are some of the next steps that they can do?
Very simple. Go to a senior citizen home, take that CD, burn it, and get some copies made. Go to cdbaby.com or go to disc makers, make you some CDs, They upload to cdbaby.com, take them CDs to a senior citizen facility when this thing dies down, and go sell it to senior citizens. And they also, matter of fact, go entertain them. There is a budget. There is a budget available to help entertain people. There is a budget that is available that the senior citizens and recreation citizens have for entertainment. Go and guess what? They may just buy a box of CDs from you. So what your CD that your friends, your neighborhood, or the radio station don't want to play, they don't appreciate it, somebody somewhere will buy what you have. It's up to you to find those resources to make it happen. We're not sitting around looking and waiting for something to happen. We're going to make some stuff happen. And that's what you got to do. You got to go out and make stuff happen.
So a person that has a business, they have a business, and they're right now they're sitting. I'm just gonna keep saying it because it inspires you to just get mad. So I like that. Sitting at home.
So you don't want to get mad like I got mad there, like that conversation we had, and we can't talk about on this line. So people calling my phone, get off my phone with this.
That's right. That's right.
I ain't had an argument with somebody today. I don't argue. I had a conversation with somebody how they can't afford a free webinar. This is crazy.
Yes, it is. Well, they think it because part of the challenge is that they believe there's an okie doke on the backside. So
right,
go ahead.
But it's your mindset.
Right.
If I tell you salvation is free, well, how much you got to pay for it? You already put yourself in the box because you've already shut yourself down because you said how much you got to pay for it. Some things they're free. Take advantage. You know what? You know where all the grants are, Doc? Mm-hmm. You know where I found most of the grants and the grant money? Guess where I found that?
Where?
In the library. In the public library. I'm the kind of guy that go to the library, set up my laptop and run. I literally run my office from the library several days and go to the library and set up my laptop with my earplugs and be working, talking to clients, doing deals, sending out PayPal invoices, Cash App, and work from the library and get up and walk around and look at the resources in the library. Ask the librarian, where can I find the books? Oh, it's in this section. A lot of those companies that have those grants and things like that, we're talking about that in our unemployment class, they're not going to post that stuff online, but they're going to put it in the library.
But the libraries are closed, so is there a way for them to find that information now?
Yeah, after we get done talking, go on the internet and click into library resources and go online, adapt to your local library online, and you can get it right there. Or start picking your phone and start calling people being called. Start apologizing to people. Start calling people on the phone and say, I'm sorry, I messed up. And I know you the head of Sunset Corporation, but let's make this right because I need some help. And that's what you do. That's what COVID-19 is doing. They're getting people back to the basics, getting people back together again.
All right. So is there some marketing ideas that you can kind of share with the folks as far as now that they got their business started or they're at home and they don't know what to do? What are some of the things that you do? You talked about the texting. Is there anything else that you do that can motivate somebody?
I talked about texting on this show.
Yeah. Did you? No, you didn't.
On the other show, huh? Okay, well, I tell people, I started email marketing years ago with a list of 24 people, and we expand that list to thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands around the world. And now, I started my mobile texting company because I realized, people can be reached on their mobile text on the hip. You reach them fast on the hip, faster than emails, but emails are still effective and still very, very good. So a gentleman told me while I was on a live TV show, he said, there are more mobile phones than toilets in the world. In 2 weeks, I had a business going because you got to be able to reach people where they are and make it happen.
Yes,
you can text the word music biz right now to 24587, music biz to 24587, and make it happen. You can text the word voiceovers to 24587, and you can be connected into some things that we're doing to make this happen, to inspire people, encourage them. You got to figure out when you talk about marketing, you got to figure out what it is that you have, what's your audience, what's your niche, and then how you can reach them. I don't want to tell you that story, but for example, you see these commercials on TV every day. I was at home doing a fast for like 3 months away from cheeseburger. Everybody know I'm a cheeseburger connoisseur. I love a great cheeseburger. I said, I'm going to take 2-3 months off no cheeseburger. I was sitting at home and a double Wendy's commercial came across my TV screen, my flat screen. I couldn't get in my house, get in my car fast enough. It made double. So those things happen. And that's what you want to do is to do what you can to make things happen.
That is incredible. So I know that with your music, I keep going back to the music side because that's my passion. Because I've seen too many people that are been hurt and not been able to go forward. With your course, do you help them with publishing? Do you help them with
everything's in there? radio, retail, distribution, manufacturing, publishing, the new publishing, digital publishing, online publishing, retail stores, marketing, production, publishing by one of the best publishing experts, God rest his soul, in the world is on there. We've got people on there that's passed away, but their legacy is lived on through our products and information that we have. We teach everything from A to Z about the in music and business. We're not just talking about how to go sing and make a record. It's more that you got to learn the business of the music industry. Your royalties, how you do your splits, your mechanical rights, your royalty rights, all those things are very, very crucial in music business.
Got excited.
Where are you going? Wendy's get a double? Where you go?
I got excited and pulled it out because we have a company that we do something similar, but it's incredible because of what you're saying is that a person that has a concept, has an idea that your company can help them to start, manage, and grow their company, grow their music business or company, and that's incredible. So let me put your information back up on the screen so they can get a hold of you. And if there are any last words, because I know you said you had to get out of here. So do you have any last
yes,
words?
sir. I just want to say, if you're not on the way, you're in the way. It's not what you have, what you do, what you have that makes a difference. Now take advantage of this time of being at home, in-home learning, in-home training. Take the time to focus on resetting yourself, concentrate on praying, and giving God the glory in all that you do. And say, right now, focus on calling people up. Reach out. I've called some celebrity friends right now. I say, hey, how you doing? I'm on the phone. Hey, how you doing? This is me. Like, Steve, how you doing? Just to say hi. People sitting at home, reconnect with your family, reconnect with your friends. You got somebody you're mad at, call them up and say, I'm sorry, I apologize. Do what you got to do to make it happen. If you're not on the way, I say you're in the way. I don't want a piece of pie. I want the recipe. Figure out a way. And I said, when your back gets against that wall real good, you'll find a way to make things happen. That's what it's about. Finding creative ways to make things happen.
And how folks can get a hold of you again? Let's put it back up on the screen.
You can go to brosteveuniversity.com. You can email me at steve@brosteveuniversity.com. That's steve@brosteveuniversity.com. Email me, take the courses, and I think the month of May we're going to be giving away 15 to 30 trips to Hawaii and Las Vegas, and you can use them after the pandemic is lifted. And also I'll be giving away smartwatches and tablets as well to everybody. So just want to bless people.
All right, folks, for the Next Level Summit, that is the end of him for right now.
That's the end of him right now. That's the end of him. How about you?
I'm kidding. I want to thank you so much, Brother Steve. If you want his contact information, it's also on the resource page of the broadcast. So if you do, just click and download his contact information. There's his email. There's also his website and more information there. So thank you so much, Steve. God bless you.
Thanks for everything, and thanks so much for the opportunity, and thank you for what you're doing, Dr. Cochran. You've been around for many, many years. You and I sit in meetings, and we just I remember all the meetings you've been in, and we strategically sit next to each other. We can just sit there and do this, you know what I mean? But thank you for everything that you do, and how you've been blessed to people and so forth.
God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye now.
God bless.
That was Brother Steve Harris. He's a business developer. He's an animated good friend of mine. I'm so excited about what he has done and doing because he's been in business a long time. And as he said, we've been sitting around in different meetings and going forward and helping each other to grow. And anytime he needs me, I'm there and vice versa. So thanks, Steve, for being a part of that. I'm going to keep it moving because it was kind of short. So after this next one, we'll take a 5-minute break. Our next speaker's name is Meet Kevin. He is a realtor, real estate investor, and a business developer. He's going to be talking to us about some great stuff, some stimulus stuff. And so let me get him up right now. So that way he can do what he do best. Introducing Meet Kevin.
If your income has gone down as a result of the outbreak, whether or not you used to be an employee of some company, whether or not you're self-employed, an independent contractor, it doesn't matter. 1099, you name it. you might be eligible for the #1 way to get free money from the government. Most of us can now file an unemployment claim, which means we can claim up to $600 for 13 weeks from the federal government directly through our state agency. I'll talk more about details on how to get this money in a moment. But this $600 for 13 weeks stacks on top of whatever state benefit you have. So if your state pays you $300 in unemployment insurance, you could get $300 plus $600 for a total of $900. Again, the $600 portion for a total of 13 weeks, which is just a little over 4 months. Now, there are rumors, and this is a rumor, there are rumors that stimulus package number 4 might actually extend these 13 weeks, but we'll see. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, the rule is $600 for 13 weeks. The state pays you for up to 39 weeks. So if you're in a state like New York, you might get $500 from the state, $600 from the federal government, or $1,100 a week. And for a lot of people, that's more money than we originally make in a week anyway. And there is a little bit of a moral dilemma there that we think of, why is it okay that I could be unemployed and make more money? But you know what? Don't think too hard about it, because it is what it is. And you may as well take advantage of the free money if you're eligible. Let's not talk about eligibility. You are eligible for these unemployment benefits if you are self-employed, you are a 1099 contractor, you're an independent contractor, you're a freelancer, or you were laid off either wholly, that is your income went from 100% to 0%, or partially. It's a very, very key word that if your income went down partially, you might be eligible for unemployment benefits. Obviously, it's going to be subject to your state to determine this, but when in doubt, I recommend apply. If your income is higher, I don't recommend you apply and bog down the system. But if you think, hey, my income has been affected, I recommend you apply. When in doubt, apply. I'll talk about where to apply in just a second. But realize what this means. This means that all of a sudden, an entire class of people who ordinarily do not have any kind of unemployment insurance benefits, all of a sudden receive them. Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, restaurant workers, handymen. It doesn't matter. You could be an exotic dancer or barbershop owner. You could be an independent contractor who has an LLC or an S corporation, and all of a sudden your business dried up. You could potentially apply for the unemployment insurance benefits thanks to this new plan, which means you'll be getting that $600 per week for 13 weeks, plus your state benefit for up to 39 weeks. Now, generally, you will not qualify if you were not at least in business by February 15th. If you were in business before February 15th of 2020, you should be eligible. But if you just opened your business during this outbreak, you might be out of luck. If you just took a job during the outbreak, you might be out of luck if you're now subsequently partially or wholly unemployed. If you telecommute, which means you can sit at home and on an iPad send emails and still make the same amount of money, you can video conference or whatever, and your income has not been affected because you're telecommuting, you probably won't qualify. But my guess is that if you're now telecommuting, but your supply chains are screwed up because you're drop shipping or whatever, maybe you've had a 50% decline in your pay. In that case, I might consider applying. The bill itself says partially unemployed qualifies. Now, states might not yet have guidelines for them. So whatever you do, when in doubt, apply, but realize nothing's a guarantee. The best way to do it is just apply, get in line, and see what they say, see what their guidelines are. Now, also important, this other section, if you receive other pay, like let's say you're fully employed somewhere and you're still receiving your full income, or maybe you're fully employed somewhere, but then you got laid off and they're paying you some kind of unemployment benefit through that job, you can't double dip and also get unemployment because now your side hustle is not making as much money. So how do you apply? Well, you go to your state's unemployment office for both. Now, you can do this online. You could just Google California unemployment, Florida unemployment, New York unemployment, and find out how to file an unemployment claim online. Realize a lot of these systems are antiquated. They're not designed to handle this surge capacity that we're getting right now with all these unemployment claims. So recognize that the servers could crash, things could go poorly. Don't expect to get anybody on the phone. It's going to be a headache and it's going to be a hassle. But that doesn't change the fact that the earlier you get in line, the earlier you get paid, which is good. So apply online. Even if this means you have to wake up at 3 a.m. to apply in the middle of the night when nobody else is doing it. Although after this video, some people are going to be doing it in the middle of the night too. Also, ordinarily, unemployment insurance requires that you're ready, willing, and able to work, and you're actively looking for employment. That has now been waived thanks to the stimulus bill. In addition, there used to be a 1 week waiting period. You'd have to wait 1 week before actually being eligible to receive benefits. That has also been removed, but don't kid yourself. Because of this flood of applications, I can guarantee you one thing. You will be waiting. But the sooner you get in line, the faster you're going to get paid. The good news is you may be able to look all the way back to January 27th to redeem your unemployment pay, which means if you got laid off on, let's say, February 1st, or your independent contracting business shut down February 1st, but you don't apply until April 1st, you might be able to look back 8 weeks and get paid $600 a week for that time, plus your state benefit. Remember, they stack. Now, no guarantees on this. Every state is going to look at it differently, but that is what the bill says. If you want to see my breakdown of the bill, by the way, I'm going to put a few links in the description below for other videos throughout this entire video. So reference some of those other videos as well where I break down the bill for you. By the way, if you appreciate this information, I know you will love the information I can provide you on learning how to make money with real estate, learning how to buy real estate below market value so that the day you buy a home for yourself or your first rental property, you're building your net worth instantly. You can't do this in stocks, but you can do it in real estate by taking advantage of wedge deals. Check out the investing course, a link below. Check out the coupon code in the description. I'd love for you to be able to maximize your time at home, learning how to make money. If you already own rental property, do also consider the property management course for rental renovations and how to deal with tenants. This is the perfect time to increase your cash flow. You can also bundle these programs. You're always welcome to email me for a bundle coupon at kevin@meetkevin.com. Now, what if you're already receiving unemployment payments? Fine, keep collecting them. You should be good. This should automatically adjust for you. You should not have to make any kind of changes. What if your unemployment ran out? Apply again. Totally fine to apply again. But what if you're self-employed and you're trying to apply online and you're like, well, wait a minute, this wants my employer's information, but I work for Uber. Who's my employer? You. If you are self-employed, you put your own information in as the employer. Even though the forms say you can't be self-employed, most of the time this is because the systems have not yet been updated. So apply. Now, number one was great. That's some really nice, easy, extra cash flow. Number two, EIDL. This is what you've been hearing about, the free $10,000 that you can get. This applies if you're somehow self-employed or you're somehow considered an independent contractor or a small business. This is done through the Small Business Administration. So if you're employed, sorry, this isn't for you, but you actually do not need employees to take advantage of this. So maybe you have a side hustle that could qualify for this. Maybe you're a landlord, like the people in my real estate investing course. You got a regular job, but your landlord business has been affected. A lot of small businesses apply. In fact, I spoke directly with the SBA, and they said that the definition of a small business is essentially somebody who has to negotiate with their own contractors, with their own customers, and create essentially their own source of revenues. So, for example, if you're a realtor, if you're a web designer, if you're a landlord and you negotiate with tenants or some way, shape, or form, you negotiate your earnings, you are a business. Whether or not you have employees, you should be able to qualify for an emergency injury disaster grant of $10,000. Now, I'm going to explain the L in a second. The $10,000 grant is free, forgivable money. It is an advance of a loan, that's the L, but it's free, whether or not you actually take the loan. The text of the bill says that within 3 business days of you applying for the EIDL, this $10,000 gets automatically advanced to you. Now, don't believe that. It's probably going to take a few weeks for them actually to be able to do this and get these systems up and running. You can't really fault them, though. Like, Congress does something and all of a sudden they're supposed to start giving out checks for 10 grand. Probably not going to happen that fast, but it will happen. The cool thing about this is even if you apply for this EIDL loan, and then you either get denied or you choose not to take the loan, you still get to keep the $10,000 advance. In fact, look on screen now and you'll see an email that one of my course members got showing that basically this $10,000 is free money. So really, you can't get hurt applying for this. It's very easy to apply. I'll tell you that in just a second. But remember what's important. You have to just self-certify that you've been affected by this outbreak. So if you've been affected, cool, you qualify. Small business, you qualify. Now, no guarantees on this or this here. Some folks have asked me, well, Kevin, I have multiple side hustles, or I have multiple different LLCs for all my rental properties, or I'm an employee, but I also have a side hustle. Can I apply multiple times? Can I still apply? Folks, when in doubt, apply. Go to sba.gov. Click on the little yellow bar up top, fill your information in. I've got an entire video walking you through step by step that I'm going to link below if you have any questions on how to fill out the form. And there are some comments on there where people are like, well, Kevin, my social security number doesn't fit in the EIN box. Yes, it does. It just doesn't format it the way you think it should be formatted, but it fits. The form works. People are getting the form submitted. And if the form crashes tomorrow, I'm sorry, okay? It's not my website, but go apply. Heads up, this $10,000 is first come, first serve. There are only $10 billion allocated towards this, which sounds like a lot, but there are 32 million small businesses. Only 1 million people are going to be able to get their free $10,000. So I've already heard that the first like 20 to 25% is at capacity. So hop to it because that happened in like 24 hours. So this is going to be gone within the next day or two is my guess. But even if you're watching this after a day or two, apply anyway. My guess is that subsequent stimulus bills might extend these programs. Now, what if you decide to actually accept their loan? For example, you get a loan for $100,000 through the EIDL program. You're going to get $10,000 advanced. That's forgivable. That's a grant. Great. But then you still have $90,000 of a loan that you can get. That loan is a loan. It has to be paid back. There's a different program, which we're going to talk about next, for forgivable loans. But applying for this does not mean you can't also apply for the other one. Again, when in doubt, apply. Just by applying, you're not automatically waiving your right to get something else. In fact, there's something in the SBA guidelines through the stimulus bill that says just because you've applied for other forms of financing does not disqualify you. So you can apply for other forms of financing. My recommendation is after you get your terms and conditions, read those. And when you read your terms and conditions, if let's say one of them says, well, if you take this, you can't do this, fine, make the decision at that point. But in the meantime, take your 10 grand. Do not feel fearful. Fill out the information. If you go for that extra 90K or the extra up to essentially $2 million through the EIDL program with SBA.gov, you're going to generally get a 30-year loan with an interest rate not to exceed 4%. And I do not believe the rest of this EIDL loan is forgivable. So we'll have to check terms on that. So really what's exciting about the EIDL is the free 10K. The loan itself, not so exciting. That's instead where we're going to get to number 3. By the way, in addition to checking out my courses linked below, don't forget that Webull is giving away 2 free stocks if you deposit just $100 into their stock trading platform. The stocks can be valued anywhere between $2 and $1,400, so you may as well roll the dice, shifting just $100 over to the Webull stock trading platform. Number 3, let's talk about the Payment Protection Program. So remember the EIDL program? You go apply for that at the SBA. Well, the Payment Protection Program, you can generally go apply for this at local credit unions or banks, but you can also apply for this at the SBA. This has led to a lot of confusion because the SBA does both of them. Keep this in mind. Again, you can apply for both of them. Just read your terms and conditions once you actually get an offer. The PPP is going to be a lot more involved. This is where you're going to have to do profit and loss, provide your tax returns, provide your 4506T. Those are the transcripts for your tax returns. I've made a video on details for this, but in summary, you can go to the SBA website and look at the general guidelines that they need for you to be able to apply for this. Typically, it's tax returns, your profit and loss statements, your income and liability statements. There are various different forms you could use for this. It's generally a more in-depth loan. So the EIDL you can apply for in like 5 minutes. The PPP is going to take a little bit more effort to put together, but you get some substantial and real benefits with the PPP. Now, the EIDL you can do without employees, but the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program, generally requires that you have either payrolled employees or you 1099 help. Like you 1099 somebody to do your books for you, to install your signs, to do your advertising. Somehow you're generating employment for other people. In this case, you can apply. Again, it's a more involved process. A lot of banks and credit unions, by the way, are overwhelmed and they're just referring people to the SBA because they're so inundated. So this is why you could really do both at the SBA. This is what caused a lot of confusion again. But again, you can go to the SBA, apply for the PPP. You can get a loan of up to $10 million, 4%, a 10-year term. But this is where the magic is. This is where the free money is. The loan goes into immediate deferment for up to 1 year, which means you make no principal and interest payments on that loan for the first year. And as long as you spend the money on qualified expenses and you bring your employees back that you laid off and you don't fire anybody, you can have this loan forgiven. Now, here's what the loan could be used for. You could use the proceeds of the PPP for things like group health insurance payments that you're paying for your employees, sick pay, vacation pay, 401k matches, like the bonus you're giving your employees, wages, commissions, tips. There is a limit on this. You can't pay somebody's payroll that's more than $100,000. If their payroll is more than 100K, it gets kind of reduced down or prorated down to 100K. Mortgage expenses, rent expenses, debt expenses, equipment expenses, basically anything you need to keep your business open works. And I mean, think about this. Would the government rather give a dentist's office $1 million to pay all their employees and their rent and their equipment and keep all those people employed, maybe not necessarily working, but the business together? Or would they rather have that company go bankrupt, then have all those people file for unemployment, get the $1 million anyway through unemployment? It all adds up, right? All the costs of bankruptcy and all that. What would they rather have? So it makes sense. This is exactly why, if you have a small business, the PPP is really nice. It could pay a lot of money for you, a lot of your expenses. You could do this as a service for your employees. This is huge. Apply for this. Get your 10K grant. That's cool, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to your potential to keep your business running with up to $10 million in expenses. And there's even a provision that says if you need more than $10 million, if you are an essential provider of jobs and you're a small business with less than 500 employees, they might let you exceed that $10 million limit. Just a heads up, I do not believe cannabis companies qualify for this. Number 4, what if you want to start a side hustle? You want to start a side business, or you want to grow your business after all this madness blows over? Well, you can take advantage of free, like a ton of free money in the form of free services from local small business development centers. If you've ever watched Undercover Billionaire, you'll actually see how he goes to this small business development center and they help him do research, market research, branding, trademarks, names, legal help, accounting help, corporate setup help, all this stuff literally for free. So before you spend money on attorneys and CPAs, and I'm not saying that these companies are replacements for attorneys and CPAs, don't think that. I'm just saying, like, step 1, keep as much cash in your pocket as you can, especially in hard times, and take advantage of the fact that this stimulus bill is giving billions to small business development centers to help you build a new side hustle or expand your current side hustle or create a company that's going to be your main hustle. Take advantage of this. It's essentially free money in the form of services. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those corporations, these small business development centers, would be open to essentially Zoom meeting you rather than meeting you in person. Number 5, the $0 mortgage and rent. First up, the mortgage. If you stop paying your mortgage, your credit is going to get screwed. You have to contact your loan servicer, which is the person you make your payments to. You want to contact that company. I've got a very detailed video on me calling companies like this in the links down below. Watch those videos, but we'll go into the summary here. You have to call them and request forbearance. Now, some servicers will let you do this online. Like Flagstar has a really good form you could look up online. You press a few buttons, you fill out some info, you press I want forbearance, boom, you send it off, and you wait to hear. This is good. This is really, really good. And they make it very easy now. Here are the typical terms you're looking for, and here's some things you want to follow. Number 1, if you are a 1 to 4 single family house, duplex, triplex, fourplex, any kind of residential property, you can request forbearance or a freeze to your payments essentially for 90 days. And you could extend that for potentially another 90 days. If you are an owner of an apartment building and you have 5 units plus, as long as it's residential, whether you live there or not, you can request forbearance for 30 days with potentially another 30 days added after that. And then you have to keep asking for extra 30 days. You just have to make sure you give them 15 days notice before your next 30-day period. Very, very important. The multifamily, this bigger space, is kind of getting screwed compared to this one before. This only works if you have something called a federally rated mortgage. Watch the video down below. I go deep into detail as to what that looks like. The odds are, though, most of you have a federally backed, federally rated mortgage. Now, when you request forbearance and you get an offer from the bank that says, all right, we're going to give you some options here, make sure that they tell you in writing they will not affect your credit, that they will continue to report you as a current borrower as long as you were current when you requested forbearance. If you were late and then you request forbearance, they're going to keep reporting you as late. But if you're current and you get forbearance, your credit shall not be affected, but you need to get that in writing so you can document this. So get in writing that your credit won't be affected. Get in writing how long you can freeze your payments. And the next thing you want to do is make sure you get in writing what the payback options are. The best option is getting those 90 days or 180 days worth of payments added to the end of the loan. That is the best case scenario. End of the loan, boom. You just literally took money today that was owed and added it to a time 25 to 30 years down the road. Best case scenario for you as a consumer. Really smart money decision. The next best option is the installment option, where you basically pay the money that you owe during those 90 or 180 days back with, let's say, $100 or $200 or $300 per month over the next year and a half. That's still pretty good. You get some time value of money benefit. You get benefit now and that you don't have to pay now during the rough time. This is also good. Worst case scenario, they say, hey, you owe us everything at the end of the term. I wouldn't even go for that deal. I think that's a horrible deal. It's a ripoff. It's just almost designed to screw you. I don't like it. It's possible that banks are going to say, well, you have to go with this option, and then we'll talk about these options later. But be careful, because then you might run into this corner where they go, well, now we're going to report you to the credit bureaus now that everything's gone. If you're going to miss your payment, then we're not going to help you modify your loan. Because remember, a lot of lenders will actually say, we will not modify your loan unless you've stopped making payments. But if this whole outbreak blows over and you're done with your forbearance and now all of a sudden you owe 4 months of payments in 1 month because that's what you agreed to, and they're like, cool, apply for a loan mod. Step one for a loan mod, start missing payments. Boom, hits your credit. This could be a nasty way the banks try to screw you. So stay away from the pay in full at the end of the forbearance period. Very, very, very dangerous. Now, here's a big question that I've been getting. What if you're currently refinancing or you're getting a loan or you plan to get a loan? Is asking for forbearance on an existing loan going to screw you in the qualifying process? The answer is maybe, but it's not clear yet. Because if during forbearance, your forbeared lender reports you as current, well, then your new lender shouldn't know about the forbearance. But it's possible they might make you sign a form saying, I haven't requested forbearance from anybody. And then you're kind of like, do I lie or do I tell the truth and not get my loan? So be careful. Yeah, it is possible that your new lender could find out. Now, for owners, you're probably still going to have to pay your prorated taxes and insurance, which means if you have an escrow balance, you're not making your payment, you might end up with higher payments later as you have to catch up on extra insurance and tax payments. So keep that in mind. Some counties are offering forbearance on taxes. You have to check your individual county. You have to apply for that individually. So there are a lot of hoops and hurdles to go through here. There's also the potential downside that if you accept forbearance and your tenant starts breaking the contract, like they start smoking in the unit, even though they're not supposed to, generally, if you accept forbearance, you're definitely not allowed to evict somebody, which currently you're allowed to evict somebody as long as their income isn't affected by this outbreak. Although potentially everybody could say their income is affected by this in one shape or another. And a lot of courts are closed anyway, so I don't know how much this downside really matters. Now let's talk tenants. Okay, for tenants, your goal for $0 in rent is come up with a plan, ask, and document. Basically, the more communication you give to your landlord, the greater likelihood you have of getting the best deal possible. So ask your landlord, talk to them up front if you're having trouble, or hey, I'm going to have trouble in June if this continues. Be upfront, come up with a plan now, and come prepared with a plan. If you send an email to your landlord, hey, I'm going to have trouble in June, but just a heads up, I should be able to still pay half because I'm getting paid unemployment or this, that, or the other. Do that. Be upfront, be transparent. Everybody's trying to help everybody out. Everybody's in a difficult situation, but paying zero is going to be a little bit more difficult as a tenant. Even though evictions are banned, you don't want this thing to be blown over and then all of a sudden a landlord sues you in small claims and screws up your credit by getting a judge against you, by getting a judgment against you. Not saying that they would, but I mean, in theory, it could happen. So be careful. Plan, ask right. You still owe the money. Best case scenario for you here is getting an installment plan with your landlord. You don't want to owe everything at the end of your lease term because your move out's going to suck. So come up with some kind of plan that you'd be comfortable with to repay this. Oftentimes, this will incorporate with landlords some sort of actual lease extension. Like, hey, we'll give you an installment plan if you agree to stay for another year and a half from today, something like that. It's options for landlords as well. The number 6 way to make money through this stimulus plan is actually through a cool new change to the HSA. In case you are not yet familiar with what the HSA is, it is a health savings account. It's kind of like a retirement account. The cool thing about the HSA is you can have this in addition to a retirement account. Individuals can contribute $35.50 per year or $7,100 as a family. What this actually does is it basically gives you like a TD Ameritrade account that you can invest in stocks or mutual funds or whatever. And you get a tax deduction for putting this money in. Now, generally, the deadline for depositing money into an HSA is the tax filing deadline, which this year is July 15th, 2020, unless it gets delayed again. But the big thing is, beyond putting money into an HSA and getting a tax deduction for that, which, by the way, if you want to set that up, I set mine up with Lively. There's a link down below that makes this very, very easy for you. Click that Lively link, and you'll be able to set that up very, very easily. It was no cost for me to set up. I got my TD Ameritrade set up within minutes through Lively. They made it so easy. Check out that Lively link. But anyway, what this account lets you do is put money into essentially a retirement account that grows with your investments. And then you can take that money out and spend it on qualified medical expenses tax-free. Now, obviously, I'm not a CPA, so consult a CPA to get accurate details on all of this. But there are a host of qualified medical expenses, like certain surgeries, in vitro fertilization. I mean, a lot of medical-related expenses, some prescriptions, a lot of things fall under qualified medical expenses. So what that actually means is when you spend $1,000 on healthcare, you usually don't get a tax deduction. But if you put money into an HSA, you put $1,000 in, you get a tax break on that $1,000. Then you go to spend that money on qualified medical expenses, you don't have to pay taxes. And what the stimulus plan just did, and this really applies to women, but dudes, your women are gonna love you if you tell them this and you do this with them. The stimulus bill added to qualified medical expenses that all of a sudden, all expenses on menstrual products are qualified medical expenses. This now means if your girlfriend spends, I don't know, $250 or $1,000, I don't know over what period of time, on menstrual products, that's now tax deductible if you do it through an HSA. That's huge. I mean, if you pay 30% in taxes, you spend $1,000 on menstrual products, you now get a $300 tax break, which both y'all, if you're a dude watching this, can go spend at a restaurant or whatever you want. I mean, you get a tax break. This is cool. So look into this HSA. The stimulus plan basically just gave you some more free money here on more stuff you could write off. And I mean, come on, most people watching this know somebody who needs some more tax write-offs. And well, I mean, that's just nature. So, all right, moving on. Number 7, if you happen to have a 401k, huge changes here in the stimulus bill that basically give you access to some sweet money. Number 1, ordinarily, once you reach a certain age, you have to make distributions from your 401k plan. You actually have to take money out at a certain age. Well, because right now that would mean you'd probably be selling low, the government said, you know what? Don't worry about it. For now, no distributions are necessary. Now, ordinarily, when you take money out of your 401k as like an emergency fund, you have to pay a penalty and you have to pay taxes. Well, confirm this with a CPA or your custodian, but my understanding is you can now withdraw $100,000 from your 401k penalty-free as long as you pay it back within 3 years. That's incredible. And ordinarily, when you take money out as like an emergency fund or for whatever reason, you have to pay income taxes on that money pretty much right away or the next time you go to file your taxes. That is now also waived if you pay the money back within 3 years. So check with your custodian, confirm this. Penalty-free 100K withdrawal from your 401k, and you don't have to pay any taxes on it as long as you pay it back within 3 years. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. This means you're basically using the government's money as an emergency fund. In my opinion, that right here, when disasters like this happen, I see this happen over and over again. They did this with opportunity zones as well. This kills the Roth to me. Now, I'm not trying to create a debate here over the Roth, but that is amazing. The flexibility that people are getting with these accounts where you get a tax deduction for depositing the money rather than paying your taxes over here, actually gives you more access to more money. Really, really, really powerful here. In addition to that, you used to be able to only take out a $50,000 loan against your 401k. Like you could buy a house and you could borrow the money from your 401k as a down payment for your house, and then you pay that money back. And if you want to buy a house, make sure you join me in my courses linked below because they're amazing. They'll teach you all of this kind of detailed stuff just about real estate. Then keep in mind that this 50K loan now with the stimulus plan has been doubled. You can actually take out up to $100,000. And if you've already drawn a loan, you can now get an extra year to pay that back. Really cool options here for the 401k. Now, this one applies unless you itemize your taxes, which if you don't know whether or not you itemize your taxes, the odds are you don't. You'll probably claim the standard deduction. If you don't own real estate, you probably claim the standard deduction, which the standard deduction is $12,200 for individuals or $24,400 for married couples filing jointly. So if you write off less than this in itemized expenses, you're probably taking the standard deduction, which if you take the standard deduction means you get no benefit for charitable contributions within the standard deduction. But a new loophole via the stimulus bill has been added. If you take the standard deduction, which most of us probably take the standard deduction, okay, this applies. If you take the standard deduction, you can now donate up to $300 of charitable expenses or charitable contributions, basically, related to this outbreak. And you could get a tax write-off for doing that, which ordinarily you would not get because it would just sort of vanish within your standard deduction. So let me just make this really, really, really simple. If you don't know what any of this means, basically, if you donate $300 and you pay about 30% of taxes, you probably are going to save about $90 on your taxes. So if you are in the spirit of donating or you've already donated, write this down for your CPA next year because you might be able to say, hey, I donated $300. You made basically $300 less in income. That's how they're doing it for people with the standard deduction, which might save you somewhere between $90 to, say, $150, depending on what state you're in and how much in taxes you're paying. It's a nice little bonus. I think it's in great spirit. It gets you out there considering donating to people in need or people who need help, or maybe you've already donated masks. You can now claim a little coupon, so to speak, for doing that. And hey, you know what? I'm not going to laugh off $90 to $150 in free money. Now, as with any form of debt, like a car payment or credit card payment, you could probably request forbearance at a lot of these. But for number 9, the stimulus plan has basically given free money to people who have student loans that are federal student loans. That means not a student loan like Sallie Mae, Discover, Wells Fargo, any kind of these perks or state programs or local programs. Those will probably have their own programs, but you'll have to check there. But if you have a federal student loan, you just got some really cool things. You got 2 months interest-free, no payments, wage garnishment stopped, and it won't affect your 120 rule, where if you make 120 months of free payments, you might have your federal student loans forgiven. This is huge. But another really, really big thing, you might be able to get $5,250 for free. Now, if you happen to have a job and you have student loans, your employers just got a sweet new tax break. They have the ability to pay $5,250 to you to pay off your student debt. That is going to be a tax write-off for the employer. And guess what? It's going to be tax-free for you. That's huge. It never usually works like this. This means the government is taking the short end of the stick. That basically means you could get $5,250 in free money. So obviously, and I mean, confirm all this with a CPA, right? But obviously, what are employers and employees going to do? Well, I guess you're making a little bit less money and, we're going to pay a little bit of your student loans every month this year instead. So that way you're getting tax-free money to pay off your student loans and your employer is getting a write-off. So there's going to be a lot of manipulating that goes on here, but this is a great, great perk. Really beneficial for people with student loans, really beneficial for employers who are able to pay this. Now, if you're like a pro money hacker, who knows? You might go look at like the PPP plan to get a forgivable loan and start paying employees debts of $5,250. I don't know about that. that this is where you start getting into like, is that ethical? That's how the rule is written, or at least that's how I believe the rule is written. Is that okay? Can you do that? But you could start seeing, you could really start blending a lot of these different things here to make a lot of money off the stimulus plan. Now, I'm so confident that this one has been beaten to death. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but number 10, and I've got 2 more after this, but number 10, yes, you get a stimulus check. Yes, you get $1,200 if you're single, up to $75K. Yeah, $2,500 up to $150 if you're married. HOH, your head of household gets somewhere in between. $500 per child. It starts phasing out if you make a little bit more than 75 or 150K. So don't worry, it's not like you're gonna lose everything if you make a little bit more. But what I really highly recommend everybody do, make sure you watch my video on how to get the stimulus check as fast as possible. I'm going to link that down below. Really, really informative video to make sure you get that money as fast as possible. And if you don't care, you don't have to watch the video. But if you want the money faster, watch that video, tips, tricks, exactly what to do step by step for you in that video. Now, paid leave is technically part of the prior stimulus bill that was passed in mid-March, but I'm going to mention it here. If you work for an employer that has under 500 employees, you could qualify for these new forms of paid leave. Just a heads up, if your employer has less than 50 employees, they might be able to loophole out of paying this, given some hardship exemptions that exist, obviously because of the outbreak. But basically, the program says that if you are sick, you could get up to 2 weeks, 80 hours paid, full pay during that time. Really, really good. Now, the limit for that is $511 per day, up to $5,110. That's the maximum benefit here. Now, if you care for somebody else, you get up to $200 per day, calculated at, I believe, 2/3 of what your ordinary pay would be, up to $2,000. And if you have to take care of a child, you could get up to $200 per day, again, up to 2/3 of your ordinary full-time pay, all the way up to $12,000 in paid leave pay. So here's really an opportunity where if you're sick, you could get up to $5,110. If you're caring for somebody, you could get up to $2,000. If you're caring for children, you could get up to $12,000. Again, if you work for an employer with less than 500 employees, and then sort of an asterisk and a maybe if you work for an employer with less than 50 employees. Now, number 12, I just want to bring attention to, there's now a new way for rich, wealthy people to write off more of their expenses on real estate. They can carry over more losses by owning real estate, and they can make more deductions on certain types of commercial real estate, like leaseholds or exteriors of commercial properties, retail, things like this. Basically, the point of me bringing this up is if you're rich through real estate, the government tends to give you more loopholes every single time a bill passes. Real estate is an incredible way to build wealth. And if this pisses you off, you got to say to yourself, if you can't beat them, join them. Go to the links below, join me in the real estate investing course, and learn how from $0 you could finally build your wealth by investing in real estate. Get rid of that tenant mindset, because it's going to keep you poorer. Get into real estate. One day you're going to be looking at this going, damn, Kevin was right.
That was Meet Kevin. Awesome presentation. I had to pre-record it. Matter of fact, I to be transparent, I had to grab it from YouTube because our speaker that was supposed to speak on it was not able to. He's busy because he's an accountant and a bookkeeper, that he was so busy with with trying to help people to do what he's been talking about doing. He wasn't available tonight to do it, so I grabbed this one. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to be transparent and be honest, because that's what we're supposed to be. But I thought the information, I've been following him for a while, and when I saw the video, I go, wow, this is something that our people need to hear and learn, because it's awesome. And we talked about it and put it in our next level business, our topics for tonight. So anyway, thank you, me, Kevin, and I hope you enjoyed it. Our next speaker is going to be yours truly, Brian Cochran. I'll be talking about your hustle, getting your hustle on. And so we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then when we come back, then I'll close this out with that. So we'll be right back in about 5 minutes. Don't forget to download all the free goodies, the download button, and also download the contact information for all speakers. Starting in about 30 seconds. And we're back, and thank you so much for taking the break. We are, it's kind of it's our first summit. We'll probably start a little earlier next time, so that way we can make sure we're not too late. So anyway, our next speaker is yours truly, Brian Cochran. I am a business and marketing consultant. I've been in business, oh my gosh, since 1975 unofficially, and then I have been a solo entrepreneur ever since. I'm also a minister of the gospel and a husband of 3 kids and a grandfather of 2 kids. And I'm excited about what we're going to be presenting tonight. Our subject matter that I'm going to be talking about today is the COVID-19 shut in, because we're in this era where we are closed in and have to sit at home. Some online side hustles that we can do to be able to survive, because it's one of those things where we some of us, like myself, I'm in the entertainment business, and the majority of my money is made from my doing sound and doing events. And guess what? I can't do sound and I can't do events, so I've had to reinvent myself. And so I'm back doing, as a matter of fact, I've been online since 2000 for 2005, and so I've been an online guy for a long time, and I've made money, and then I got caught up in the stupid idea of just being offline versus being the online kind of guy that I am. So anyway, we're going to be talking about side hustles that you can make an income from. Our first number one is get rid of unwanted items in your house. What's in your house? What's in your closet? What's in your garage? I have when I was hungry and was short on some funds, I looked in the garage. I had a ton of speakers that I was doing absolutely nothing with, and guess what I did? I turned around and I sold them, and I put them up on Let Go. Put them up on eBay and a couple other websites, and I was able to dump a lot of equipment, and I was able to raise some money to survive and do some other cool stuff. So I want you to do the same thing. Get excited about what you can do. You know, as it says, as a minister, there's a very familiar a passage of scripture, a story about a woman that had lost her husband, and back in the Old Testament days, the the family would be in debt because of the husband. So they were going to put their kids into slavery to pay off the debt, and so the mother went to the widow went to the prophet, and the prophet said, "What's in your house?" So again, what's in your house? You need to know what's in your house. Look for those things that you're not, you got 20 pairs of shoes that you're not wearing. You got those purses, or you got the wallets, or you got, old computers that you're not doing anything with. Somebody else, your discard is somebody else's reward. And so take the time and find out what's number one, what's in your house. Number two, oh, matter of fact, before I go there, these are some of the places where you can take that merchandise. Craigslist, which is one I thought about, couldn't remember. eBay, Facebook Marketplace is a relatively new one that's really awesome that you can sell your products, especially if you got tons of friends. Then you can pull them over into the marketplace since you're already there. Let Go and OfferUp are all good marketplace places that you can go to resell used items that you can do so. And how it works, I'm glad you asked, Brother Cochran, Brother Brian. You snap a picture, then you set it up and upload it to the internet, and then you start earning cash, because people, when they look for some products, they're looking for certain things, they will find it, and you are able to sell it. And one of the things that's cool about eBay is that they got an auction portion where you can start really, really low, and then you can make it up to a certain point, and sometimes you can actually sell it for more than it's worth by putting it into the auction, because it's a frenzy that, just like when you go to the bigger auctions, the same thing but on a smaller basis, depending on what the item is, that you can get rid of some items by taking it online using one of these other platforms that we just talked about. Number two, something called affiliate marketing, and it's market other people's services or products, and that's something that's really, really big, especially when the internet came in, that it allows folks to not have a product or a service and refer, just like I think it was Tony Robinson was talking about, by that the word of mouth is the best form of advertising, which is absolutely true. And so what you do is, through affiliate marketing, how it works, I'm glad you asked. Affiliate, you sign up to an account for any, so like for instance, Walmart and most of your major stores, and have locations, as well as there are distribution networks that allow you to sell. They'll put it into a marketplace, and you look and try to find a program that fits you, that you can talk about, write about, take the affiliate links and put it on your social media, put it on your website if you have one. When visitors click through, like Amazon's probably one of the largest, so Amazon's probably one of the fastest and easiest way to do it, because a lot of us are shopping on Amazon. So what you do is go to Amazon, join their affiliate program, and then you take and grab their, they have tutorials on how to grab their links. And when you grab their links, then you add it to your social media campaign. And then when people click through and they purchase, you get paid. That is something that I did when I first got started, and still do. We offer an affiliate program with some of the things that we do. So I'm excited to share this, because it works. If you don't have to have any money, to do this program. So I'm basing most of these programs that I'm selling, that I'm talking about tonight, are programs that take absolutely no money or little money to get going. So think about affiliate marketing is really, really big, really, really good. And usually what happens is you talk about different products and services or restaurants. You say, hey, by the way, you'll go to a restaurant and take a picture, and in that picture you'll describe it and you'll talk about it and not get paid. So why not get paid for something that you would automatically do anyway, especially if you're on Facebook or social media anyway? So take advantage of that, and you go ahead and start in with affiliate marketing, because it does work. Number 3, create your own product, like an ebook. And so, like right now, Brother Steve said earlier that he wrote a bunch of books, and so do I. I have some books that I've written as well. And I started off as, my first book wasn't an ebook, but I went to, let me say it this way. Let me go back and let me put up the caption first. Number 3 is create an ebook. Sorry about that. That's something awesome. So my wife and I would go walking from time to time, and this is before all this stuff happened. We would go and we'd have a date night once a week, and that we would go out and go to. But back then, we live in Southern California and out in the Inland Empire. And we would go to the Lemon, out there to Upland. They had a street festival, which was really, really, really good. And so we would go, and then we get cold, it start cooling down. Then we would go to the mall, the local mall, Montclair Plaza. And then for some reason, well, now I know why, but we were parked by Barnes and Noble. And we were going through Barnes and Noble, go through the mall, walk around and do that. Sometimes we'd eat, and sometimes we won't. Sometimes we grab something to drink, and it doesn't matter anyway. So when we would go through, I saw this little kiosk. It was called the How To. It's little red trifold that said the How To section. And this little how-to section was a little small trifold that had how to plant flowers, how to change a spark plug. It had tons and tons of services that they were offering. And I go, wow, that is so awesome. And so I took myself and said, wow, this is just as ebooks just got started. So I started writing a bunch of how-tos, because I'm pretty much, I've been blessed with some ability to write and an ability to learn. And I've taken what I've written and taken what I've learned and wrote it down. And the cool part about ebooks over a full book is that it doesn't have to be that long. It could be 20, 30 pages, 35 pages at the most before you get into something larger. But the cool part about it was the way it worked in Barnes and Noble. They had it for $5.95 to buy the hardback, and then online they were selling it for $3.99. So just imagine you taking the time. It's like now you're sitting at home. God is giving you a gift. He's giving you a talent. You have some abilities that you're able to do, that you're able to figure out some stuff. One of the things that I tell people right now is in some of our courses that we do, especially when it comes to our writing course, that there's this program called Evernote. It's a little green. It's on available on both Amazon. On Android, and it's also on iOS, Apple. And so it's free to download. They have a free version. I wouldn't suggest getting, unless you really need it for business services, just get the free version. And so what I would do is before we got shut in, while I was driving around, I would put on, if I got an idea for a chapter or an idea for a book, I would go to Evernote. And the cool part about it was that all I needed to do was to take it and then go into the note part. And then it had voice recognition in it, that it would type up what I say. And then it wouldn't be perfect. I didn't care about that. But the cool part about Evernote was that I can, what I did on my phone. So if I'm out somewhere waiting, if I'm doing something, or I'm even sitting somewhere where I got some free time and an idea comes up or a concept come up, what I would do is I would take and talking to it, it would type it up, and then it has a desktop version that it opens, it syncs with your phone version, and then you're able to go there and download it to my word processor. So my word processor, I would massage it and make it right. And so that's number 3. So write you an ebook is really, really, it's not simple. We have a course, and then there's tons of courses out there that teach you how to do it. But right now, because you're sitting at home, because you have this free time, take your expertise, just like Steve said, that you take your expertise and do something. And one of the things you can do, and absolutely free, they got tons of ways to upload it. There's tons of ways you can go to Amazon and get into the Kindle ecosystem and upload your book there. There's tons of other places that you can do your ebook. You can also see us because we have a platform that you can sell your ebooks as well, and it doesn't cost you anything to get started. So number 3 is create an ebook. Next, number 4. Create an online course. And that's one of the things that Brother Steve was really, really high on. That's one of the reasons why we brought him down to be a part of our broadcast, is because he has a ton of courses. And the cool part about it is, if you got and the reason I put it next is because it'll take you a little bit of money to do that. I mean, there's places that you can do free course. I mean, you can go to Udemy, and there's other places that are available that you can upload your courses. It may cost you a little bit, or you can do your own website. You can get a free website, and we'll get into that another time, but you get a free website, put it the course there. If you get a WordPress, they got, e-learning courses that you get up, that you can set up with your WordPress website, that you can offer the courses and sell it by getting your own merchant account. If you don't know how to do that, between Brother Steve and I, we can help you do that. One of the things that are the reason I brought it up is because you take your ebook and you create a course out of that ebook. And so that's kind of how I created a lot of my courses, that I would start off with the ebook or a book, and then I would back it out, and then I would create an online course that I would charge for. The ebooks, a lot of times they're either free or next to free, depending on what I'm doing and the whole goal of why I created the ebook. And then I would offer it into what, like Brother Steve was talking about, I would offer it to a online course that there's a ton of outlets that you can go out and take your course and upload it if you don't want to do it on your own. There's tons of places that you can distribute it to, so that way you can create your own course. Next, we have create your own t-shirt company or clothing company with little or no stock. And this is something that I have an online, it's called JC Swag. It's a Christian clothing line that I have t-shirts and hats and all kind of stuff that I'm able to sell. And you say, how you do that? It's called print on demand. There are tons of companies, I'm going to put them up in a second, that allow you to take your concept and idea, digitize it, and then upload it to the internet. So that way you're able to, all you got to do then is, once you get it digitized, once you get into the company, then you would, let me put that up. Instead of me just talking about it, let me show you how it works. So, no. That's, yeah. That's next. I'm sorry. That's how it works as far as how you make money. So what you do is you find, I'll show you. Let me go here first. These are the companies that you can upload to. This Cafe Express or Cafe Press, Teespring, Amazon Merch, Printful are probably the largest 4. And then Redbubble and Zazzle are up and coming companies that the same thing. So the cool part about it is you can distribute your t-shirts, your designs to all these companies because they have their own ecosystem to do it. And then you can upload it to once it's on their website, you can get links and get all the descriptions and that kind of stuff that you can start promoting it through social media. So how does it work? The bottom line is that what happens is each of those companies have a base price that they charge for each and every design. So when you upload it, there'll be a base price. They'll let you know what it is. And then plus the markup, then you mark it up. It usually is called something called Keystone. So you mark it up at least between 100 and 200%, depending on what you're doing and how dedicated you want to be on that. I mean, how much money you want to make, and then you sell it at a retail price. That's the basic way how everything is. There's a base price from a wholesaler, base price from a manufacturer. Then there's a markup as you as a retailer, and you sell it for a retail price. And so you're able to make some money by print on demand. And the cool part about it is that these companies have what is called promotional merchandise. So if you want your own mugs, you want your own keychains, you want your own balls, you want your own swag, pins and all this other kind of stuff, you can promote your company by making it a larger brand through those other companies that I just showed you. That, let me put it back up there. Cafe Press, um, Amazon does, and then there's a bunch of other ones that I didn't have a time. I didn't take the time to do it because of just the time restraint for doing this course. But you can make some extra money by either doing your own T-shirt line, or as well as add on to that for promotional merchandise. So that way, they're on-demand companies as well. You don't have to have any stock whatsoever, and most of these companies are free to get started because it's based upon a person clicking through to purchase. And then once they click through and purchase, they make their money, they print the material, and the markup's a little bit higher. The cool part about it is you really want to build a real record. A build record. If you want to build a real um, if you want to build a real clothing company, that's where you get started. You start there, and then as it grows, then you get a better deal buying quantity. But to get yourself started, you start with what you get in where you fit in. Again, this is side hustles that you get started today with absolutely no money, so that way you can make some extra income, grow an income, and it can maybe become a prime income for you to be able to do this for the rest of your life if you choose to. That's one of the things I'm as I said earlier, I'm a solo entrepreneur, so I have my hat in various endeavors. So with something slow, then there's something else to take up the slack, or I promote something else to take up the slack. And so guess what I'm getting ready to do? I'm getting ready to start promoting my t-shirt line again, because again, I had to, because of what I shared with you earlier, that I had to close my, not close, but because I'm not doing entertainment right now, and I'm also, I got a venue that I'm overseeing, so I can't even do. We had some plays scheduled, we had some concerts scheduled, we had some things scheduled that was going to generate cash flow for me, but guess what? I couldn't do it. So I had to reinvent myself, and one of the ways that I'm reinventing myself, but all the things we're talking about, I'm getting ready to do it myself as well. All right, next. Number 6, start a YouTube channel or vlog channel. And just like we're doing right now, just like what you would do is, and how you do that is you just do a lot of videos. I have a couple hundred videos that I have on channels. And the cool part, and what's so fun about it, is that yeah, sorry about that. Let me show you. Number 6 is YouTube or vlog channel. And YouTube is the largest search engine on the planet. And the thing about it is how I make money by doing my vlog. I don't get a lot of hits on certain videos, but because I try to be consistent, I have certain videos that do extremely well based upon the subject matter. Like, so my number one, I have 2 videos that are number one. My number one video is for the music business. It was on doing your barcode. And so I got probably 15-20,000 people or something like that are, it's not a lot for some are millions and so forth. But the cool part about it is it equated it for them becoming a member into my organization, because I have a company called iMusic Boss, where we help people start, manage, and grow their own record label. And so it led them to that, because they saw my expertise, they saw that I had product knowledge, they saw that I was passionate about it, and I was available to answer the question. Because a lot of times what people do is they'll give you part of the answer, and the thing about it is that you cannot give enough good information, because there's more in your brain. Is if you're ever learning, like as everybody's been just, as Tony was saying earlier, that take some time to learn about your product or craft. I take my time to learn about everything that I do. And so that way I have product knowledge. And then if somebody's in need, when I do the video, I take my ebooks, and out of my ebooks, I break them down into lessons and mini lessons, and I'll use half of them. I'll put them up on YouTube. So that way it leads them to my books. And by my books, it leads them to my video courses and all the other stuff that I do, or join my membership site. As I said earlier, how do you make money with YouTube? There's a couple different ways. To make money on YouTube. One is that you get enough hits, if you get enough subscribers, and then they pay you per click. Another way is like, for instance, if you look in the background right here, I have a couple books. So a person will see those books, and I may talk about it. So there's product placement, like you see in movies. You'll see them pass by a McDonald's. You'll see they'll open up a laptop, and the laptop will have a Apple or IBM or Dell or whatever that you get paid for product placement. Right now, really big, in which I should have put it up there, which is being an Instagram influencer. And Instagram influencer is almost the same thing, where you talk about products, and it's on Instagram. You pull up your pictures, and through your influence, people buy the product or services that you're offering. And so this is the same thing with YouTube, but it's more in a video form. Where with Instagram, it's more about the picture, and then they got Instagram stories now, which is kind of cool. So you can do short stories about whatever the product or service is. So you can make money through, allowing others to advertise through your site, allowing Google AdWords. So what happens is, if most of you don't have a pay, like I have a paid account because I hate the ads, so I pay the money. But the cool part about it is that if you don't, then if there's videos that'll pop up that are relative to whatever the subject matter is, and then if they click through, you get some pennies and cents and so forth. There are more millionaires made today through being YouTube vloggers and bloggers and having YouTube channels than almost anything else in the world. There's even billionaires. There's this little girl that's in Korea, I believe she is. She's making $24 million a month. Isn't that insane? But she does this little toy, and she's an influencer, and she's making 24 million. Is it a year? I think it's a year. She makes like $1 million a month. There we go, something like that. I mean, there's others that are doing the same thing. So I wanted to make sure I put that up there because it doesn't cost you anything at all. You can start it with this. You can start your vlogging with a smartphone. You don't have to have cameras like I have. You don't have to have a big setup. You start getting where you fit in, as just like Brother Steve was saying earlier. You get in where you fit in, and you use that as your vehicle to be able to ride that to prosperity. And as well as it ties into your marketing campaign, that when you create your ebooks, when you create your course, then you use YouTube as a vehicle to market and promote it. Then you take that and you add it to Facebook, you add it to Instagram, you add it to all the other social media websites, Twitter and Periscope and so forth. You add it to all of them, so that way you're able to get the marketing promotion out there, which leads to a call to action that will cause them to come to your website, and so that way you're able to make some money. It doesn't cost you anything. Next one, number 7. We're almost done. Drop shipping is another one that is virtually free or very little money to join. Some of the services, some of the companies will you got to pay for it, but there are some free ones where. And the cool part about drop shipping, if you look at the caption there, what it is that there's some companies online. Oh man, I forgot. I apologize. I was going to pull up some of the locations. If you hit me up, matter of fact, my contact information is inside the package. So if you hit me up, then I'll get you the list of the ones that I use and have used in the past. So that way you can find credible companies that do drop shipping. So the drop shipping model is that you go through, find a supplier, and then you grab some products. And this one, you're going to have to create a store. And again, this is going to cost you a little bit of money to get started, but you can do a free website on Wix, or we have a website that you can get for free that you can add the products on there. And so, matter of fact, you get a little store through us as well that you can get for absolutely free, right? Especially right now, so that way we can be good going. So what happens is that you find a supplier that will allow you to drop ship. Like one of the things that let me do this first, and I'll give you an example of one of the things that I did. That then what you do is you put it into your store, and then you go after customers. And the cool part about drop shipping is that you don't have to touch any product. All the product is shipped by the supplier, and that's what's cool about it. Amazon's probably the largest drop shipper right now, so you can do the drop shipping program with them. And if you got products yourself that you can do, and then there's some other stuff. We have a course on drop shipping that we can help you start your own drop shipping business to the next level. But right now, I want to show you how to, for little or no money, there's companies out there allow you to do it. And one of the things that I did, because I live in Southern California, I live, 30 miles out, 35, 40. Well, actually, it's probably an hour now with traffic, but I'm about 35 minutes from Los Angeles. And downtown Los Angeles has something called the Garment District, called the Jewelry Mart, and they have all these different areas where, from electrical to, so if you want to get into car stereos, home furnishings, all this stuff is downtown. Watches, all this stuff is in downtown Los Angeles. So what I did before drop shipping was really as big as it is now, I would go to a manufacturer. I started with purses because I wanted to start a business with my wife and get her going into starting her own business. And so she didn't want to sell, so it didn't work. So she got into something else. But anyway, so what I did was I went to a manufacturer and said, hey, I'm going to create a website. I'm not going to buy any merchandise, but I'm going to bring you business. So when somebody clicks through and they purchase it, I'll send you the money. I'll give you the packaging. I'll give you the labels. I'll give you the stamps that included in the price. You get all that included in the price, and then would you ship it? And so I had several companies. Several companies said no. Then there were several other companies that said yes, because it's just at the time when drop shipping was just kind of, the internet was just kind of really getting going. And so I was able to launch a a personal line because I had a company that I was able to do drop shipping with. So it didn't cost me anything because all I needed was a website, which I already had. And then what I did was with my website, I took and I uploaded the products to the store, and then I talked about the products. And then I was going to set up, which I still have, a network affiliate marketing company that I was going to do, to help folks, to help women start their own business and so forth. And so it would have done well, but here I am I was a 50-some-year-old fat guy trying to sell purses and try to develop this line, and it didn't. I'm still looking for somebody because I still want to do it. But anyway, let me get back to the subject matter. But drop shipping is a wonderful way for you to be able to get started with little or no money. So when, again, right now you're shut in, so you can go online and go drop shipping companies, and then they'll pull up a whole bunch of them. And at the same time, we have a company as well that you can do the same thing. So number 7 is drop shipping. Let's go to number 8. Number 8. No, that's it. Oh, we're done. Yay, we're done. Because I didn't want to make it too long. So anyway, if you would like, let me do this. We're done for tonight. Praise the Lord. That was awesome. It was a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. So we have so what we're doing right now, because of the COVID crisis, we're offering a free upgraded membership to BizHelp 101. It is a one-stop that I hope you to start, manage, and grow your company. If you have a company, then we're going to be we do webinars and seminars, tons of courses to help you to grow your business. It's sectioned off in portals and communities that, depending on what your community is and you want to learn from, that you can learn there. And what we'll do is we'll give you a gold membership that will allow you access to take the courses, allow you to join, so that way you can get extra learning, because I don't want you to think that there's no one there that's going to help and be around. I believe in the law of reciprocity. I believe in reaping and sowing, that if I sow, I shall also reap, that when this turns around, that you'll stay a member and you invite others to be a part of what we're doing as well. So anyway, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the Next Level Virtual Business Summit. And I want to make sure you go download the swag bag, there's some free gifts, as well as the information to the BizHelp 101 membership, that you go there and it has information for that as well. And then also the contact information for our presenters are down there as well. This summit was brought to you by BizHelp 101 and BAC TV and Radio Network. Please go support them, so that way we can continue to do these broadcasts and do them for free, because that's what it's all about for us. And I want to thank you so much for being a part. God bless you, and may God keep you. And we'll see you on the next summit that we do very, very, very soon. God bless you. Bye-bye now.